Okay.
Yeah, ready.
Are you ready, man?
Absolutely. Perfect.
Cheers. But
So
yes,
what is the right way to hold?
my favorite way to hold it, if you're just holding it, talking like this. Now we are ready to cook. And what I'm cooking today is one of my favorite meal in a bowl vegetarian dishes. It's a Korean noodle called japchae. And then cut.
So tell us a typical Ashish Kapur day.
I would say it's very fulfilling because I wake up at 5:30 in the morning. My first thing in the morning is I talk to water.
Cheers.
Cheers.
We're starting off with wine. फासद की खूबी सिर्फ स्वाद के आशिक जान.
Clearly, yeah.
I'm steering away from every.
The damn fine life show.
To do that and then to still make a busy day.
पहले को enjoy किया इसने.
The damn fine.
कहूँ कि बस
बता दो.
secret.
हम सिर्फ नमक नहीं बताएंगे, बाकी सब बता दो.
The damn fine life show. The damn fine life show.
Nice trans. Yeah. Okay, got it. Ready?
The damn fine life show. 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 The damn fine life show with Rinku Madan.
He looks straight out of a GQ magazine, has some of the most successful and vibrant bars and restaurants across India. He's an engineer, a restaurant, Asia's best young entrepreneur awarded by Business Week. He is also a young achiever awarded by India Today, a young Turk by CNBC TV 18, a passionate environmentalist, a golfer, etc., etc. Please welcome the gorgeous Ashish Kapur. I hope that intro was good enough.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you, Rinku.
Is it so? Is this the French one, or are we doing the Italian?
Yes, we're Italian, so
Okay.
that's why we cook with wine.
Okay. Yes. So voila, we laid out a little platter for you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. That's perfect because cheese and wine is a match made in heaven.
Yes.
And
you are a connoisseur of both, so I thought, let me live up to it. Maybe, I hope there's nothing missing on the board.
No, I think you've perfected it because there's cheese, there's fruit, there's nice cold cuts, and that too different kinds of cheese. There's macaroons, walnuts, olives.
Okay.
I think we could be sitting anywhere in Europe and having this meal. So
Let's do this.
Let's start our vino journey, our cooking journey.
So how do you want to? You were mentioning you wanted to do a little pairing, little wine.
Yes, I have to tell you my cooking
Journey.
secret.
Yes.
I, in the kitchen, use a lot of wine in the sense that I first drink with the wine while I'm making the food, and I also add a little bit of wine to the food. And I thought that's a great way to,
Absolutely.
because joy in food must be while you're cooking,
Yes.
and then translates into while you're eating. So let's start with the wine journey so that we can enjoy cooking the food with
Done.
some tasty wine.
I can't wait.
Lovely. Thank
So
you.
what are we starting with? What did you want to tell us? Like what you have in mind?
Yes, sure. So I'm partial.
I see a beautiful Gavi. Yeah.
Yes, I'm partial to Italian wine because I finished my schooling out of Italy.
Yes.
Not that I was drinking at that
We
age.
we have that coming up for you.
but I'm partial to Italian
Yes.
wine, and this is a wonderful white from the Piedmont region, and it's a very specific grape called Cortese. So we've got a Gavi to try, and we are all proud Indians, and Indians have a great terroir. And this is from one of my favorite Indian labels, Sula. This is a wine called Satori, which is a Zen term for sudden enlightenment. So when you drink wine and when you're eating great food and with great company, you get sudden enlightenment.
And you actually recommend the Satori?
Yeah, I think it's a great, it's a very nice wine.
Okay.
It's also very unique because It's a Tempranillo, Malbec, and a Merlot, all rolled up in a bottle. So you could be traveling. Tempranillo is Spanish usually, Malbec is Argentinian, and Merlot is obviously, a lot of Italy also grows Merlot. So you were traversing the world in this bottle.
Excellent.
Right? So we'll try.
I
both
can't
these.
wait to actually try how Sula has evolved.
Yes, we'll try both of these lovely bottles of wine.
Done.
And I see you've put together some fabulous cheese. So why don't you tell us a little bit about all the different cheese that we have?
So Ashish's dictum was he wants some hard cheese and some soft ones. So I got a gorgonzola. I made some of these cheese balls. One was, it's a goat feta mix with some cranberries and walnuts, and the other one is pistachios and thyme. And I also kept some parmesan. We have some cheddar inside, which Ashish is saying that it's enough. So, I didn't lay it out.
5 different kinds of cheese, which is a luxury.
But if he feels along the journey that we need something more, then we will get it out in a jiffy.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Should we get started?
Yes, please.
Can I open the bottle of wine?
Yes,
while
please.
we are talking?
Allora.
Italian?
I don't speak good Italian. I just travel, so there are these few words that you pick up along the travels.
But you've got a very nice way of saying it.
Okay, thank you.
Pronunciation is perfect.
I think the company rubs off too, and also that I'm meeting you after so long.
Yes, it's been a while.
Yeah, so maybe I'm just happy to see you.
I spent a long time in Goa. Next time we should do a shoot in Goa.
Absolutely. I have visited Antares more than once, so I know how lovely that is.
There's nothing better than wine on the beach.
Nothing better than wine anywhere actually, but yes, wine and beach is next level.
Match made in heaven.
Absolutely.
What I find absolutely fascinating about old world wines, be it French or Italian, is that the good French and Italian wines, and in their country, they never write the varietal of the grape. So typically, like you'll find Australian wines or wines from Chile or even wines from India, typically will say Merlot or a Chardonnay or a Cabernet Sauvignon. They'll give you the name of the grape. But you'll see Italian, Spanish, French, German wines never do that.
Okay.
So they'll never give you the name of the grape.
What is the reason?
The reason is that it'll tell you the region it is coming from.
Yes.
And the appellation only allows you to grow that grape in that region. So
you have to be knowledgeable enough to know that this is the region you have to know.
So it's like saying, listen,
Super.
Makki ki roti and sarson ka saag is from Punjab. And if you don't know that...
Then don't eat it.
Yeah, it's too bad for
Then
you.
you don't deserve to eat it.
So they just write the appellation.
Yes.
And Gavi is the appellation.
Yes.
And the grape is not Gavi. So the grape is actually completely different.
Yes.
It's Cortese. And the region is Piedmont, where it comes from. Great chocolates also there. But
Yes, the truffles.
Yes, the truffles.
Piedmont is famous for the truffles too.
So if I may,
Yes, please.
I'm going to pour us a little bit of
Sante?
Sante. As you've seen, a lot of people swirl their glass of wine.
Yeah.
Right? And a lot of people ask me that is it for pretentious reasons or does it really make a difference? And it makes it huge because it's, the wine needs to react with the air and the aromas. It's like a bouquet of flowers.
Yes.
So the minute you swirl the wine, and what I also love about wine is it's like learning a language, like Urdu or Persian or Italian or French. Wine is a language. So even the terms, you're nosing the wine, you're opening up a bouquet of aromas. So it's just such a beautiful way. You can drown yourself in this, huh? But
So what is the right way to hold?
So that's a great question. There's only one wrong way to hold. There are multiple ways to hold, yes. The minute you hold it like this, you're transferring your heat from your hand to the wine, which should be chilled. So either my favorite way to hold it, if you're just holding it, talking like this, or else you hold it by the stem. but don't hold it too long. Drink it.
Yes. I don't think I can rush it today though, because I don't want to be drunk while asking you the questions.
The best way to cook is with wine in your hand, because trust me.
Okay. What do you want to do along with this? What do you recommend we should do?
Okay, so you have to flirt with all the cheese to know which ones you romance.
Terms. Okay.
All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a little bit of everything.
Is this something out of reality too?
It's all passion, right? So you will not, because everyone's
and
palate
not just cheese.
No, it's pure palate. It's all pure palate because
Ashish,
we'll stick to the wine.
Clearly,
I'm steering away from everything else. But yes,
that's okay.
We will stick to the wine and we will say that we'll try a little bit of everything.
Okay.
So that we see what cheese goes with the wine and what our palate likes. It could be totally different.
Done.
So allow me to just...
So generally, which cheese do you prefer when you drink a white?
I think it depends a lot on the wine, because if it's acidic Riesling, you require a completely different cheese.
I had see your intro said straight out of GQ and all that, so I had to at least live up to my intro of you, right?
You totally have. There you are, ma'am.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Okay.
Cheers. Cheers. Cheers.
So this first?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Blue was fabulous with this, huh?
Blue was fabulous. Hands down, winner.
I think the tartness and the acidity of the blue cheese works very, very well
with the little sweetness of this, yes. Completely.
Now we are ready to cook.
This is really good. The blue with the white.
Even your home created feta balls are beautiful.
But sweet. So Ashish, we have this entire thing laid out. Do you want to tell us? Yes. I know what you're cooking and I can't wait to eat it, but do you want to tell everyone what you're cooking?
Yes, so Rinku, I turned vegetarian a couple of months back.
Really?
Yes, I turned vegetarian about 5 months back. And hence I love these meals in a bowl.
Okay.
Because I think it's very convenient, super nutritious.
I'm sorry about the cold cuts, I didn't know.
I live with wine, so I can live with the I've eaten non-veg all my life. So there's no problem of non-veg around, but I personally chose to become vegetarian. And what I'm cooking today is one of my favorite meal in a bowl vegetarian dishes. It's a Korean noodle called japchae. And we use glass noodles. And we're going to use a ton of different veggies. You've got some really interesting veggies from peppers to scallions, carrots and spinach. Shiitake mushrooms, wow. And then there's a separate sauce we'll make. But it's basically a meal in a bowl.
Healthy.
With lots of veggies.
Okay.
With great glass noodles in a salad. And that's what we're going to do.
I know. I've been seeing that you guys speak a prayer before each service or everything. Yes. What is that about? Like what?
I think that's such a great question. Why does food in your kitchen or a mother's house always taste so delicious?
Yes.
It's because it's cooked with love, right? Now, the minute we go to commercial kitchens, you've seen firsthand the tensions inside the kitchen. Chef,
Bhasad.
The chaos.
I've been in one,
You've seen the thing, Misa late aa raha hai, running order hai. There's always conflict going on.
Yes.
So the commercial kitchen is frankly always an exact opposite to the home environment.
Yes.
So to bring it back to that peaceful, loving, seva environment, loving environment, we say a prayer twice a day, both the kitchen and the service staff, where we are essentially not praying for the success of the restaurant. We are not praying for money. We are just saying whatever we cooked here is cooked with love. Whatever is cooked here will give whoever eats it great energy. Fill them with love, fill them with peace, fill them with happiness, and God bless them with the food that we are cooking.
So amazing. That's such a good thought.
Yes, so what it does naturally inside the kitchen is for the staff and the staff serving, they're serving with joy. So they're cooking.
You think their temperaments, their
Shouting has completely reduced, because when you're praying every day saying कि जो भी मेरा ये खाना धारण करेगा is going to be peaceful and happy and loving, the shouting automatically.
Do you want to tell us 2 lines from the prayer?
Yes. So we say, मैं एक पवित्र आत्मा हूँ, मैं एक दिव्य आत्मा हूँ, मैं एक शक्तिशाली आत्मा हूँ, मैं ये भोजन प्रेम और सत्य भाव से बना रहा हूँ, और इस भोजन में ईश्वर की दिव्य शक्ति है। जो भी ये भोजन ग्रहण करेगा वो शांति, अच्छी सेहत और खुशी के साथ रहेगा। As simple as that.
So sweet.
Yeah.
So you're one of the leading entrepreneurs credited with building award-winning hospitality brands, and for a while now. So how does it feel like, like what? Tell us about it. That how did this start? How did you embark on this hospitality?
I'm an engineer by degree, and
Yes.
electronics and telecom. Then I worked with GE Capital in finance and private equity.
Yes.
And then in 2002, I was overseas. I wanted to come back and work in India. And in 2002, I came back and created my first restaurant brand, which was Yo China.
Yes, I was going to come to that later, but yeah, tell
Yes,
us.
so that's how the journey started. And as a snapshot, just to give you a quick snapshot, I started when I was 25 years old. And at that time, the whole idea about Chinese food was, India is so young, and even though we love Indian food, South Indian food, but it's not sexy. So you're not going to take someone for a date over dosa and butter chicken, right? But in Chinese, we have dishes like American chop suey, which are neither in America nor China. Or you have dishes like dim sum or chicken Hong Kong, which is again not in Hong Kong, but in India. So it's trendy, but Western in nomenclature, cool. You don't make it at home, so your ability to eat that dish out is more common.
Absolutely.
So that's how we started Yo China. So at 25 I started, at 27, and I come from a humble background. My parents were in the government, a school teacher, so I raised some angel investment. And thereafter at 25 I started the first one. By 27 years of age I raised 100 crores, and by 29 I went nearly bankrupt. So the learning of it came losing all the money, not raising the 100 crores, but really losing it and recreating restaurant dining as an experience. So that's, I say I've had the most expensive MBA.
I read that you studied in Rome, which you just mentioned also. But so tell us about your days in Rome.
I think it was amazing, because I did a little bit of my schooling in Iran, and right from Iran I did.
Wow, Iran.
Yes. So my father was in the government.
Acha.
And then we were posted in Iran, and right after that I spent 3.5 years in Italy. So I finished my schooling out of Italy, and as you can imagine, for anyone, it's such a beautiful country. The culture of food, I think there's a large reason why I entered the restaurant business was because of the great food and the diverse food, from Persian food to the lovely Italian food that we ate.
That you were exposed to
That I was exposed to at such a young age.
Okay.
And I think that became a large part of who I am.
What is your best memory from your days in Rome? Tell us something which is like, which stayed with you. I'm sure there'd be many, but
it was at that age. I don't think I was like a local tour guide, because I was a teenager, and obviously in Rome you had visitors coming all the time. So I was blessed to have seen the Sistine Chapel probably 30-40 times because everybody needed to go.
Everybody wants to go
and
see.
I was the de facto tour guide. But I think the diversity, what I really admire, and I think is also common between India and Italy, is if you look at the culture of food, right? They say that the cheese in Europe is older than the buildings of America.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And it's so true, because each province, each region has its own cuisine. Each region has its own ingredients. each region has its own wine.
Tell us about your days in Canada. You were at the McGill University, and I believe you received the highest leadership award there.
Yes, there's a Scarlet Key Award, which is given to young entrepreneurs at McGill. And
What did you study over there?
I did my electronics and telecom engineering.
Acha.
So I did that, but I think what is, from a very young age, I wanted to create. From a very young age, I was sure that I wanted to create something. And I think that's where the bug of entrepreneurship, because I clearly remember, when I went to my father for the first time, and I said, my father was in the government, and I said, I want to open a restaurant chain. And he said, "Kya waiter banna hai?" He said, because my grandfather was in the army.
The unheard of, yeah, I know.
Absolutely, my grandfather was in the army. These things were unheard of. That you don't do business. Nobody had worked in a company.
मेरा engineer बेटा waiter बनना चाहता है कहीं.
With an immigration to the US and Canada, only child, and he wants to quit all of that and
become a waiter. Okay. So then was he pleasantly?
We're going to add a little bit of wine to the...
Okay. How many countries have you worked in?
I have lived and worked in many, but I have lived in Iran, South Africa, India, of course, Canada, the US, Italy. Yeah.
And which has made the maximum impact on you? Which country has been? Italy?
Well, I have to tell you.
Growing years.
Also, no. I think culture in Iran was so rich. I remember this beautiful tradition. We would go to friends' homes, and they would, at the end of dinner, open with coffee. They would open the Rubaiyat and take out poems of Omar Khayyam, and they would use that as an astrology reading, like a tarot card reading.
Really?
So you are having your coffee, you've had your dinner, and the conversation turns to art and culture. And like instead of putting out a tarot card, you point at a poem or open a page. And they would recite that.
Do you remember any? Are there any lines or anything that come to your mind, or
I'll just look up my...
That's okay, don't worry about it. Which has been your favorite brand? I know I love whiskey Samba.
See, it's all about the romance. So all the occasion. If you want romance, wine company. If you want chilled ocean vibes and Antares. If you want a power business kind of a meeting, whiskey Samba. When I was starting wine company, people asked, how will we pronounce all these different wines? I have to tell you a very interesting fact. In India, at the same higher end price point, Italian wines do better than French wines.
Okay.
And a funny reason for that is not because the wine is necessarily better, but people who can afford a 20, 30, 40,000 rupee bottle of wine don't want to embarrass themselves when they're pronouncing a name.
Yes.
So they don't know if it's Chateauneuf de Pape, Chateauneuf de Pape, is it Margaux, it's complicated. Versus Italian is Amarone, Barolo, Brunello. So it's much easier on the tongue. So when you're 30,000
what you read is what...
Yeah, and you don't want to be corrected by the person, diner next door. Oh, you might be ordering for 30,000, but...
You don't even know.
So it's
you don't deserve to drink it.
I love learning these things. And then also cocktails. So I judged the World Bartending Championships. Diageo has this amazing thing called world-class bartending. And for the last 4 years I've been part of that, and I think India has some incredible talent.
Yes.
Incredible. The other day I had a Karela Negroni. I mean, who would have thought of that, right? A white Karela Negroni.
Was it?
It was outstanding.
Really?
I like savoury drinks, so it was absolutely outstanding.
Okay.
This is a delicacy.
Yes, and it's vegetarian.
Yeah. Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So here we go. Okay, my wine is finished as usual.
I'll get you some more.
Thank you so much.
Cheers to you.
Cheers to me and cheers to you coming. Okay, here we go.
Cooking has never been more fun. Cheers.
It is completely vegetarian.
Wow.
This is finger lime.
It's delicious.
Yep. So what exactly is TIE and what is this recognition?
I'm a charter member for
What is
India's
TIE?
entrepreneurs.
Huh.
So, it's so important to give back in entrepreneurship, because India is 65% of Indians under the age of 35. Everyone has a dream to start their own business. And, setting up a business anywhere in the world, especially in India, is not easy. So, any entrepreneur who has made it has a moral responsibility to make sure that whatever mistakes you've made, you can share with others so they make new ones.
Okay.
But they don't make the same one.
Yes. Okay, so what are the things that you are really passionate about?
So, I love restaurants, as you know.
Of course.
I call it a 60-minute holiday.
Huh.
I think going
A 60-minute holiday?
Yes.
Okay,
You have
what
to-
does that mean?
You have to get all of it right. So you're not in the business of just getting food right, or alcohol right, or service right, portion size right. You have to get everything right, like a holiday, right? And it should be about seeing smiles on people's faces. You have to lead with an experience. So I started a hotel in Goa called Mademoiselle, which is a French boutique hotel. And there, in the middle of the hotel, I have a carousel with horses. And it's a carousel for adults. So you have to go onto the carousel with a glass of wine in your hand or a cocktail in your hand with your partner. And you have to ride the horses, be chatting, be making memories, and yeah. So that's what that is about.
What fun! That is so nice.
Yes. Cheers.
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 Yes.
You've got this perfectly laid out, because this is all about plum and cherries and berries, and you've got some lovely strawberries and very summery fruit.
Thank you.
So this is a very fruity wine.
Yes.
Because like I mentioned, it's
Also
got,
sweet.
Yeah, it's got Tempranillo. It's summer in a glass. So it's like going on a summer picnic, and you're drinking this glass, and like I mentioned, Satori, the name means sudden enlightenment. It's a Zen term. So
What is the sugar content in this wine? Does this sweetness come from the grapes that you've mentioned, or I think there's some, do they
always
add?
the grapes. They don't.
There's
no.
nothing added
You
in
know,
this to make it to get the sweet.
In India, the summers are really nice. In terms of, at least in Nasik and all, there's a cool breeze. And the sun makes the grape ripen very fast. Right? So the sugar content comes because the grape is really ripe and it's very fruity. So that's where you have all these berries and strawberries.
It's really
and,
nice.
and
It's actually
plum
really
and-
nice. I'm really pleasantly surprised. Thank you. I mean, Sula is so underrated, and so like a pariah in the wine.
No, but this gentleman who started Sula Wines in
Yes.
India, Rajiv Samant, is a good friend of mine.
Yes, I know.
And Sula is named after his mother. And he used to study at Stanford. And he came back to India. They used to grow onions and tomatoes, tomatoes and all out of the farmland. And he, because he'd studied in California, he brought Napa style winemakers and converted it into vineyard. And today it's a public company, and largest winemaker in India.
Absolutely.
So and to be fair, the terroir is only 25, 27 years old.
Anyway, so tell me, best restaurant in Delhi,
In Delhi,
as per you?
I love what cuisine?
It doesn't matter. Best restaurant period.
Well, I can tell you, when I'm with my kids, right? They love Daryaganj. They love good old butter chicken. There's no, there's no
I love his
qualms
butter
of
chicken too.
sophistication and
I love
also
his
they love
the one on the
a
bone which he
wholesome-
does.
Yeah, they love the good old butter chicken.
I tend to agree with that.
So that's
Daryaganj,
there. I personally,
Amit Bagga.
yes. I personally, I think the Western food at Olive is outstanding.
Yeah.
I think
No, one best restaurant. Best restaurant, one restaurant, Daryaganj. Okay.
Daryaganj, yes. Daryaganj
Okay.
is.
Any place or anything, any cuisine that you're desperate to try? Any restaurant that you're desperate to try?
Yeah, I love.
Preferably in Delhi.
I love Thai food, and I think Delhi doesn't have enough Thai food.
Yeah.
I think the one in Radisson is very nice. But
Yeah.
it's one,
I was
two,
there
three, a couple of restaurants. But
day
if you
before
look
last
at it,
night.
we in India, you travel so much to Bangkok and to Thailand because the Thai food is really delicious.
Ashish
So,
Kapur should come up with that.
I think that's a good idea.
That's a great idea.
That's a good idea.
Ashish, best Sunday brunch.
Height. I
Hyatt?
love the Sunday brunch at Hyatt, the bottomless.
The Hyatt
La
at
Piazza.
oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, the good old
But
Regency.
they don't do it the way they used to anymore.
Yeah, well, the
you know,
cocktails,
right?
I love
They've
that,
changed
They
everything.
used to do Grey Goose cocktails. They used to do. I think they were just fabulous.
They've changed everything, which is not a good thing. If somebody is listening, please. The connoisseur is
My
saying
favorite, my two favorite places
I
have
agree.
stopped serving great brunches because one shut down, Sets. I think the Sets brunch was
I think
also,
they're going to reopen.
They're going to reopen.
Yeah, yeah.
But Sunday is my favorite meal of the day,
Yeah.
of the week, right? A Sunday brunch is a full
Likewise. Absolutely. And we don't have good
we
brunch
need more
places.
Sunday brunch places.
Absolutely.
Yeah, easy Sunday. We used to have a
Good
brilliant Sunday
wines,
brunch
good
at
champagnes.
Dim Sum Brothers.
Yeah.
So at Dim Sum Brothers, we had
That
like
was yours
60
too?
Yes, we had 60 varieties of dim sum. One of my favorite concepts.
The best Asian, according to you?
Best Asian, I love dim sum.
Okay.
And in the absence of Dim Sum Brothers, I would say Royal China is just delicious.
Why did you shut Dim Sum Brothers?
We ran it for 12 years, the lease finished, but the plan is to definitely start it again because Dim Sum Brothers was iconic and we used to serve, baskets
I know.
of 6, 9, 12 dim sum.
Again, something which was a pioneer thing
Yeah.
because you never used to get those dim sum baskets, which is now everywhere. Every restaurant is doing it.
Yeah.
But you
Never,
never
yeah.
used to. Yeah, exactly. Okay, which is your favorite pre-gaming spot? You know what pre-gaming means,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, except here, I love breweries. I think pre-gaming and gaming, you can't get away better than a
I'm so
great
glad
brewery.
that you know what pre-gaming means and I didn't have to explain it.
No, I think Gurgaon is really blessed with a ton of breweries. So there's
You would have a beer and pre-game?
absolutely.
Yeah?
In fact, if I'm not having wine, I'd love to start a night with beer or evening with beer and end it with beer. And in between, I can flirt with a couple of others, but.
So tell us a typical Ashish Kapur day, what you have for breakfast, lunch, dinner, in-betweens,
Well, I'll tell
everything.
you my day is, I would say it's very fulfilling because I wake up at 5:30 in the morning and I spend, my first thing in the morning is I talk to water. So
What do you mean talk to water?
I put
You
all my
mentioned this earlier.
affirmations into water.
Like, okay, tell me, like I'm having this wine,
Right?
so
That
tell me how
I-
to affirm.
that I would say,
I want to be 10 kilos lighter.
Yeah. So I am.
So what should I do?
I am fit. The water, this water that I'm drinking, nourishes me. I am 10 kilos lighter. I'm 10 kilos lighter. I'm super fit.
He's talking for me.
There you are. You are.
Please listen. Wine.
So you put in those affirmations saying,
Whatever.
I'm going to be super happy through the day. I am going to be. I am.
I am.
So
So
I
you have
am.
to believe that
You have
it's
to believe
happening.
that it's
Okay.
happened.
And does that work?
Miracles happen.
Guys, see, you have to talk to water every day.
You have to talk to water and you have to say that you attract miracles. You have to say you attract great luck. You have to say you're surrounded
Every
by...
glass of water you drink.
I say it, I have a 10-minute version and a 30-second version. The 30-second version is when I drink every time, but the 10-minute version is in the morning.
Morning, okay.
And you say all your relationships are peaceful and beautiful because frankly, don't you want a peaceful and beautiful life? So if all your relationships are happy, you're gonna, and you can say anything. You can
Have
talk
you
about
seen
money,
a
you can-
change? Have you seen a change in any of the things that you have
All of
affirmed?
them, or every single one of them. I write a gratitude journal every day, but I also have a miracle journal. Yeah, so I was saying that I finish my meditation, then I go to the gym.
Okay.
3 times a week I go do yoga once or twice, or I'll play golf. And then I start my work at 9:30. I really enjoy waking the kids up early. I'm like the terror. I love bullying them. So I do that. Then I work, and I'm not a very late night person. So I
No,
finish-
what do you eat for breakfast? I want to know what you've been eating for the day.
I'm trying to be a little carb free.
Yeah.
So I'll eat my protein through eggs. So I'm vegetarian, but I eat eggs. So I'll have a little bit of either eggs or omelette or scrambled with a dal ka chila. Or my favorite innovation was when I'm in Hyderabad. I'm a lot because of whiskey Samba. And there at the hotel, I tried this once and now I love it. A dry dosa. So I use a dosa as a bread. So instead
And
of
you have
using-
the eggs with the dosa.
Yeah, so I just
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just roll the dosa separately, and eat the dosa as a bread, but it's far lesser calories
Yes.
than bread.
Eating a piece of bread.
Piece of bread. So yeah, so that's my breakfast with some nuts and maybe a protein shake. And then I love fruit. So through the day I eat a lot of fruit. Lunch, and I'm working. I mean, I love working. So for me, one of my affirmations in the morning is people say I'm stressed for time. I don't have enough time. One of my affirmations is I have 240 hours in a day. So I have enough time for everything.
Best bakery?
Sibang. So there's this Korean bakery out of Gurgaon that I love the food at Sibang.
Okay. Best pizza?
Komos.
Komos?
Again, Gurgaon. I think it's fabulous. And they have a Komos in Goa by the beach. So, but the quality of the pizza is super.
Mojito or margarita?
Margaritas. I love tequila.
Margarita or Aperol?
Aperol.
Aperol or old fashioned?
I love these. Both.
One?
One, old fashioned.
Old fashioned or Negroni?
Negroni.
Negroni or Caprina?
Negroni.
Negroni or Cosmopolitan?
Negroni.
Negroni or Manhattan?
Manhattan.
Manhattan or Pina Coladas?
Manhattan.
Manhattan or Mai Tai?
Manhattan.
Manhattan or Moscow Mule?
Manhattan.
Manhattan or Whiskey Sour?
Whiskey sour.
A Whiskey Sour or Sex on the Beach?
Whiskey sour.
Whiskey Sour or Campari?
Whiskey sour.
Whiskey Sour or Bloody Mary?
Bloody Mary. Sunday brunch.
Bloody Mary or LIT Long Island?
Bloody Mary. By far.
Bloody Mary or Espresso Martini?
Espresso martini.
Espresso Martini or a Mimosa?
Mimosa. Thank you.
For sure. It's so good. Cheers.
Cheers. So we're going to talk to the food before we eat it.
Done.
Right? And it's as simple as saying, this food is divine.
This food is divine.
It's got all of God's amazing energy in it.
It has all of God's and Ashish's amazing energies in it.
You'll be 10 kilos lighter after you eat this.
I'm going to be 10 kilos
You're
lighter
gonna
after I eat
your
this.
skin and
Else
all
I will kill
Your
Ashish.
skin is going to be glowing.
My skin is going to glow even more.
Oh, even more. And I just attract miracles and happiness eating this food.
I just attract miracles and all other right things after eating this.
There you are. There you are. Cheers.